our first guest comes from Poland. And let me introduce Mr. Daniel Olkowski, solution engineer, data protection solutions from Dell Technologies. Hi, Daniel, how are you?
Hello, I'm great. Thank you very much. How are you?
Well, absolutely. Well, we discussed a little bit. I made a short introduction about the cybersecurity, about how the people are going to react in case we're going to have a breach. So Daniel, we're waiting for your presentation. I understand that you will guide us through a situation when we are, let me say, under attack. Is that correct?
Absolutely. In this world, we're under attack. A couple of months ago, customer called me and said, Daniel, I would like to buy your data domain. This was a big surprise for me because, of course, data domain is a huge popular, in the worldwide, also in Poland. But anyhow, it's a rare situation that customer calls the vendor and say, I want to buy your solution. It is usually that the vendors call customers and present first the technology. So, of course, I was happy, but from another question, I was also curious. So I asked the customer, great, thank you very much, but why? I was encrypted. I told him, fantastic, good, data domain will protect you, but we need to protect before, not after. So what I would like to invite you is a discussion, what to do to avoid this kind of a situation, what to do to sleep well, what to do to be sure that we can continue our company, whatever will happen. Whatever, if we will be attacked by a ransomware hacker, doesn't matter, we will continue our business. So my name is Daniel Olkowski and I deal with cyber recovery solutions in Dell Technologies. Thank you very much for the invitation in this beautiful day. I know this is a beautiful day in Romania. It is also a beautiful day here in Warsaw. I'm very happy that in this remote way we can be together. Please ask questions if you will have any of them, as this I prefer that this will be just interaction and discussion between us. So what we will talk, of course, we will talk about cyber bunker. This will be the idea, the solution, the details, the architecture that we will discuss today during, as much as possible, during 20 minutes. The fact that ransomware is, commodity currently, that attack hackers are commodity today is something which is nothing new. I was in the electronic shop and I couldn't buy I don't know, a disk or whatever, a pen drive, because the shop was attacked by ransomware. The data were encrypted. They couldn't provide, they couldn't run their business. So whatever business we have, it can be, just manufacturing something. The hackers, the cyber criminals, they rely on the fact that if the production is stopped even for 1 hour, it is a huge loss for the company. I even don't want to talk about financial sector, about telecommunication sector attack. I was talking to my colleague from financial institutions from Poland, and he told me that they have about 15-20 attacks per day. So this is a commodity. The question is, how can we protect? How can we be sure that we can run the business? Generally, there are two types of strategies. The strategy that you usually use is a castle strategy. So castle strategy is protection, like in the Middle Ages. We say, okay, we have a wall. Like here, we have a wall. And we have so big wall that we believe that no one will be able to jump over and make any hurt to us and hurt us in any way. When we put the strategy to the IT, we have a lot of firewalls. We have a lot of systems that, for example, in Dell track me, that those systems, they track me as a Daniel Olkowski, that I will not, click on a wrong attachment, and so on and so on. So there are a lot of systems that we use, and this is good. This is what we should do. But this strategy, this castle strategy, does not provide answer for very important question. What if? What if the enemy will jump over the wall? What if any of the attacks will be successful and the hacker ransomware will be inside? There is absolutely no answer for this question. This strategy does not provide. In the Middle Ages, they were in really bad situation, because when the forces of the enemy, they were inside, their situation was, I would say, tragical. But there is also another strategy, completely different strategy. This is a strategy of ambulance. Let's imagine that there is Daniel Olkowski, and Daniel Olkowski performs a very intensive life. Daniel likes to come back at night, 2 a.m. to his home. He likes skiing, climbing in the mountains. So his leg, hand, head, or heart can be completely destroyed or removed. Yeah. So let's imagine that we have ambulance, and Daniel can call this ambulance and say, come to me, and this ambulance provides the following service. He can replace his leg, hand, heart, head, whatever, exactly to the moment when it was destroyed. And he can continue the same life that he was practicing just a second before. Wow, looks great. Everyone would like to have this kind of ambulance. And if there is any phone, just tell me. But of course, I don't want to, encourage you for this kind of a life, because in personal life, this kind of ambulance does not exist. Yeah, of course. But fortunately, when we go to the IT, we have this ambulance. We have this ambulance, and this is Cyber Bunker. So Cyber Bunker is the solution, is something that whatever will happen in the production, somewhere here we will have our production, whatever will happen here, it can be destroyed partially, completely. The Cyber Bunker says, no problem production, no problem VMware, Hyper-V, virtual machines, databases, files. You can be destroyed, deleted. I will rebuild you. I am the ambulance, I am the Cyber Bunker, then rebuild whatever is destroyed in the production. Okay. Wow, sounds great. If this is really true, sounds great, and in my opinion, makes sense to dig a little bit further. So let's talk about this a little bit further. First, what the components, what the functions, what the advantage is of this Cyber Bunker. So as I said, we have a production where we have virtual machines, where we have files, database, the whole our IT, even cloud. Maybe on-premise or in the cloud, doesn't matter. And as I said, we have the Cyber Bunker. So the Cyber Bunker, first of all, grabs the data from the production, for example, every hour. Yeah. So every 1 hour, it takes the data. All our data from the production, they are sent, moved, copied, whatever we will say, to our Cyber Bunker occasionally, once per hour, once per day, whatever interval we would like to have. Okay, that's fine, but we can do it with any technology. But what we can do, what we can do when those data they are sent to the Cyber Bunker, they are changed into immutable, into non-changeable state, into the stone state. We say compliance. So no one can destroy this data. No one can remove this data. No one can change this data to any other format, for example, encrypted format. And this is what we want. And this is what we want. Because the main administrator of our company, the person who has all the passwords, he's not able to change, delete, remove this data. Okay. they will be just there in the cyber bunker for a specific time. We can say, okay, please change into compliance, please change into the stone mode for 1 month, for 3 months, for whatever. So if currently, today is 16th of February, if at that moment, it is something like 2:20 in Romania, if at that moment the production will be sent to the cyber bunker and we will define the compliance, the stone mode for 3 months, no one is able to do anything with those data until 16th of May. No one is able to do anything with this data, remove and so on. Administrator with the highest passwords, the CEO of our company, the president of the country, the president of the whole world, no one is able to do anything to this data. If this is true, also hacker, also ransomware is not able to hurt those data. So if whatever will happen here in the production, whatever will be destroyed here, this data will be okay, and we will be able to restore this data. Let me show it live, because of course I had to prepare a small demonstration. So here is the system, a data domain that has this compliance mode, and I have it here. And you see this solution has log. This log is enabled for 90 days for 3 months. What I will do, here I have some backups on why this why is this data domain. On left side, I have a some production system, disk E on my Solina system, and I will perform manually. Of course, everything is automated, but just as a demo, I will show you manually. I perform a backup. I will call it before, okay? And on the left side, we have a production. Yeah, this is left side, and this is a production. On the right side here, there is cyber bunker. Let's say cyber bunker. And if there is a hacker, this hacker, of course, let's say I'm a hacker currently, I can destroy this data. Yeah, I can destroy this data. I have just destroyed the data, no problem. But I'm going now, of course, as professional hacker, I know that if I have any cyber bunker or this kind of a technology, you will not pay me any fee. So I also try to destroy this data. I'm trying to destroy the same file here in the cyber bunker. I try to permanently delete this data. And there is a message, no chance. You cannot destroy this data for 90 days. I, as a solution, as a cyber bunker, here is honestly a data domain. As you see, I just see a little bit spoiler, the fact that this is just the heart of the system is a data domain, which we see now. This data domain says, sorry, no, I will not allow anyone in the world to do anything with this data until 16th of May. No one will do that. That's great message. That's great, thing that we have, because after the hacker attack, I don't have file 1 because it has been destroyed. I can have destroyed much more data, but all of them I'm able to recover from the cyber bunker. So the first element of the cyber bunker is compliance, is the fact that we have a solution that is able to restore, recover after whatever the attack. But of course, we don't want to have a cyber bunker which is manual. We want to have everything automated. So sending this data to cyber bunker, to this data domain that protects our data, is fully automated. So I will not show you any other demo, but at least I will show you the panel. Here is the automation, Power Protect Cyber Recovery, the full automation, when I can define a policy. In this policy, I want to say, I want to perform synchronization with the cyber bunker every 1 hour, and I want to keep it for 3 months or whatever time. The another thing is, it is great thing. It is the thing that we should talk about half an hour, but I will have to, make it shortened to 1 minute. It is incredible, but this cyber bunker can tell me if there is anything wrong in the production. So in the cyber bunker, I have the possibility to check if on the production I have a 50 terabytes. In the cyber bunker, I have an image of 50 terabytes, for example, at 2 p.m. today. Yeah, of course, I have an image at 1 p.m. as well. I have an image at midday, and so on and so on. Yeah, I can say, hey, cyber bunker, look at this snapshot, at this photo, at this 50 terabyte at 2 p.m. and tell me if there is already any attack to my production. And this cyber bunker will analyze my all 50 terabytes, byte after byte, with over 100 metrics. So not only the header, metadata, whatever, it will it will check every database, Oracle SQL, every virtual machine, every file, the whole content. If Oracle is 1 terabyte, the whole 1 terabyte. If files 1 megabyte, all bits in 1 megabyte, over 100, checks they will perform if everything is okay. And after that, I will have the message, like here, I have the message in my case, just a message. Hopefully you will have this message, everything is good after this analysis, or if there is anything wrong, I will get information exactly which file is encrypted, which user, which process started. I get all the information. Usually the time between finding the encryption, and starting the encryption is 2 months, because encryption is a long, when ransomware attacks us, we know about this fact usually a couple of days, couple of weeks, or a couple of months after, because first it encrypts 1 file, 10 files, and so on, because encryption is processor intensive process, so it takes a long time, but we will know it immediately. We even probably, okay, so this is like a fire in a forest. If it is small fire just by cigarette or this kind of stuff, we will close the fire, will stop the fire immediately. We will have a huge problem in the whole forest. And of course, we provide automation for the recovery. Sorry for not showing this online. Final thing, the whole cyber bunker is invisible to the production. Even if there is insider, there is a person inside who helps the attacker, the hacker, with the attack. And this insider will tell, hey, my friend hacker, even if you destroy this all, it's not enough. They have cyber bunker. But I have never seen this. Sure, you've never seen this because it's hidden. This hacker will not find any IP address. Okay, here is 10, for example, the IP address of this data domain, which is the cyber bunker. He will not find it in Active Directory, in DNS. He's not able to ping this 10 and so on. Absolutely the whole science. So it's completely hidden, like normal bunker, Polish, Romanian, French, Israel, US, whatever bunkers, they are hidden with leaves and this kind of stuff. This bunker is completely invisible to production. It looks like magic because we need to send their data even every hour, but yes, this is true, it's completely invisible to the production. So as a summary, the cyber bunker just provides us answer for 2 important questions. Am I being encrypted? This part. If yes, then how to recover immediately. So nothing happened. We can just continue our business. Yeah. This is a little bit more technical, but we are a little bit run off the time, so I will not go into the details. But if you want, of course, if you want, please contact us, because guys, makes sense to check the solution. The discussion costs you nothing, but just contact Dell Romanian office. Of course, it will be a pleasure if you contact me, but you can absolutely contact Romanian office, and make sense to just discuss and qualify, yeah, by infrastructure, because it's between infrastructure and security department. As you see, this is part, of course, this is some infrastructure, but this is part of the security strategy of our company. Yeah. I mentioned also the cost. Usually there is a question, okay, maybe what about the cost? Believe me, the cost is very, very reasonable. I would even say small, because the main cost is just this device, the data domain, that this has this function of compliance, changing data to stone mode, immutable mode. The automation we provide with no additional cost. There is server, of course, required, but this is not, so nothing big that is required. And of course, professional services who will implement this whole stuff, and the cyber bunker integrate with our production, of course. So the cost is really, I don't want to say, I mean, it's really reasonable, I would say minimal. It's always important to mention the cost. There is also additional materials. When you get the presentation, you will see a little bit longer explanation of cybersecurity and possibility to protect, to recover after this kind of attack. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, I would be happy to discuss.
Well, thank you very much, Daniel. Actually, you skipped the last 3 slides, which I think described a little bit the architecture.
Yes.
So I was wondering if this cyber bunker represents, I would imagine this is a storage, Dell EMC, perhaps, probably some other servers included. And somehow it is hidden from the network, so you can't ping it, you can't, it's not visible, yeah?
Absolutely. So the heart of the solution is data domain. This is honestly the cyber bunker. Yeah, this is the cyber bunker, because what is the cyber bunker? It is changing the data to non-changeable state, to immutable state, to compliance, to stone mode. So no one is able to change them, replace them, remove them, whatever. And this is in a reality a data domain. The other stuff is, of course, additional. So we have some application that makes the automation on a server. As I said, this application is no cost to server, and of course some networking which is required, because, as you said, there is an air gap. So this cyber bunker is not visible from the production. Here is our production. Here is the cyber bunker. The production does not see. So this word completely does not see the cyber bunker.
Okay, so essentially there is a storage where you basically cannot modify the data once it is uploaded. Very important is that every snapshot you are adding to the cyber bunker could be matched with the previous one and compared if there was some modification, some changes, which looks like a ransomware attack, or I don't know, a virus or whatever, which is absolutely brilliant. And but why you cannot, I mean, this device also should have some administrator account.
Absolutely.
So can this be, I don't know, tapped or stolen, or, I mean, somebody has to administer this.
Sure. So honestly, there are 2 questions. The first question is how to administer this device if we cannot change the data. And this is very simple, because if this data domain works in the compliance mode, so we cannot modify those data on him, then we can define a policies. Okay, we can say how often we would like to, send data from production to the cyber bunker. But we are not able, for example, I will just show you, live. For example, here in this case, I keep this data on some, on some partition, which is called D2, and I'm not able to delete. Me as administrator, I'm not able to delete this data. I'm not able I'm not able to do anything with this one. So I can only define the policy, the bottom line. I can define policy, but I cannot destroy the data. So honestly, this is really true. Me as an administrator of data domain, I can give login and password to the hacker, and I can go to bed. That easy.
Okay, sounds lovely. Where do you see the crystal clear? So basically, if you set the policy for 90 days that nobody can, even me as an administrator, can change the data, that's it, end of story, and nobody can delete it. That's the essential, yeah?
Yes.
So in this time, I can restore it, I can put it in other, sounds lovely. So actually any kind of ransomware attack cannot modify my data. That's the most important thing, yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay. So what's actually the most important, where do you see the applicability? I mean, in the industrial area, to the financial sector, or to all the critical system?
One of the producer, so first of all, in Poland, we have over 15 companies having the cyber bunker in telco and financial sector. I would say that every company from financial or telco sector either is implementing currently the solution or is thinking about this one. Yeah, we are just in the process of designing. But also a company who produces chairs for cars in Poland, South Poland, they are producing for Volkswagen chairs. And they were attacked by ransomware. They have three factories in Poland. They were attacked. One of the factories had data domain, and only this factory recovered the data. Only this one recovered. All other data, they were lost. After this incident, immediately, they implemented a cyber bunker for themselves. It is a small company. They have 20 terabytes. I cannot provide publicly the cost of the solution, but believe me, it was very small. I don't want to say that zero, but the cost is really reasonable. So it's not only, I mean, even if we have 5 terabytes, 20 terabytes, this is absolutely a solution for us because it does not cost a huge or enormous money. Yeah?
Yeah, it looks like a very brilliant idea. Ultimately, it's something somehow natural, but well, Dell EMC thought about it. So anyway, my understanding is that I'm going to have a data storage which can't be accessed, and I could keep my data for a period of time, and I would be safe from ransomware attack. That's the message.
Absolutely. So we can go to bed and be sure that whatever will happen tomorrow, we will be able to continue our business. This is generally what we provide.
Daniel, thank you very much. Mr. Daniel Olkowski, thank you very much for being with us from Poland today. It was a real pleasure. I'm not going to bed, but I'm going to my next speakers.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you I'm going to my next speaker with one of the solutions that could be implemented in critical areas. Thank you very much, Daniel.
Thank you very much. All the best.